All rise.
I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
I was not the first one to throw a walk.
Let me just tell you what you just said.
Compassionate.
I really enjoy being a judge. Now I am touching people who I will never know I touched.
She's powerful.
You should have never let them walk out of your life when she was 3.
And she's on the bench.
Don't get me preaching up in here today.
Right.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Stacy Stillwater is suing Rodney Pepperton in the amount of $800. Ms. Stillwater claims she commissioned a portrait of her late grandfather for his funeral, but says the final product looked nothing like him. Mr. Pepperton is countersuing for $3,000.
I understand from the complaint that you filed with the court that you contracted with the defendant to do a portrait of your late grandfather. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have a countersuit saying that she slandered you
Yes.
On social media.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, Your Honor. So I've always been really close with my family, particularly my grandfather, my late grandfather. He passed away, and I wanted to honor him. I was talking with my friends about what can I do for the man who raised me. So I really wanted to honor my grandfather and his memorial service. So I had some friends say, maybe you should find a professional artist to create a picture for his memorial service. So I found Rodney online. I began to look to see what artists could draw a portrait of my grandfather, something that would look like him, and who could kind of expedite the process, because I was in charge with his funeral arrangements.
And there were a lot of online positive reviews that she found until she started slandering my name and my work.
Absolutely, Your Honor, and I would like to continue if that's okay.
So wait a minute. So now you go online. He had a series of positive reviews. Is that
Yes,
correct?
absolutely.
Is that why you selected him?
Absolutely. I actually knew, we had some mutual Instagram friends, so I actually knew some people who thought that he was really good. So I found him online. I had some people kind of vouch for his work.
So you have been an artist, and how long have you been doing this?
I've been an artist since I was a kid, but I've been professionally doing it for about 8 years as far as portraits. And when she reached out to me as far as commissioning a piece for her grandfather, online on my website it actually says all sales final, and what we said was $800, and she agreed to the terms. And then I performed the piece, and then she said that she didn't like the piece, and she used the piece anyways in the funeral.
And so did she provide a picture of her grandfather for you to use for this portrait?
Yes.
But you must have needed in a very short turnaround if you're going to use it for his funeral.
Yes, Your Honor. So when I contacted him to ask how fast could it be done, are you the right person, he said that he could do it in 2 weeks. I was a little annoyed because that was the day before the funeral. But I said, you know what, okay, I heard good reviews about you. You seem to be confident that you could produce the picture of my grandfather. We talked at great lengths. Your Honor, I gave him 2 youthful pictures of my grandfather. This is how we all remember him.
And they were low in low quality, by the way, which is the reason why it hindered part of my work. And I asked you whether or not that would be okay, and she said it was okay. So she gave me the okay to go and use my artistic abilities. She trusted my artistic instincts. That's what she told me.
So did it seem reasonable, though, if the pictures were not good quality, that you should have taken this contract? I'm just asking.
Well, the contract was already completed, Your Honor, so it was a matter of her saying, here are the pictures that I have, here are the pictures that I want you to use, and I'm going to take what I have, what you've given me, and I'm going to use that to the best of my abilities.
All right, so what about the quality of the pictures that you gave him?
Your Honor, the quality of the pictures were only okay, and we both talked about that, but he also assured me that he could make it look like what the picture looked like. Because if he would have told me that it would have looked nothing like my grandfather, Your Honor, I would have said, no, thank you. I can find another artist.
So he says, though, that you actually used the picture. Tell me what happened.
Okay,
so you
Your
got
Honor.
the picture the day before the funeral.
The day before the funeral.
And what
Yes,
happened?
she used it.
We decided that he would come over on Saturday night. We agreed upon a time. Your Honor, he was 2 hours late. I'm kind of grieving already. He comes with the picture. I pull the picture out. It looks nothing like my grandfather.
Nothing like
Nothing. I have pictures, Your Honor. It looks nothing like my grandfather. And
and did
I
you
disagree.
say that?
This is
I did, Your Honor.
Artist is subjective, and she understands that before. And the thing is that art, it's final. And so what happened is that she started reaching out and slandering my work, and that cost me 2 extra clients. And so that's the reason why I'm going at her for $3,000.
Okay, I'm going to get to that part. I'm just still trying to get to what happened the day before the funeral. So now he brings it. You say, "Oh, this looks something like my grandfather." Did you keep the portrait? Did you say, "I don't want the portrait"? What did you do? Because he says that you kept it and used it for the funeral.
In my state of grief, Your Honor, I tried to be reasonable. So when Rodney stated, "Oh, well, you know, art is subjective, and you know, all sales are final, and maybe you're just too close to your grandfather. Maybe some other family members might appreciate it. Maybe he's right. I've already paid $800 for this." So the day of the funeral, the portrait is in front of the casket. Everybody said, "Who is this man?"
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Well, people reach out to me and they saw this review, and I don't want to have work done by you anymore. She's posting things that are slanderous, and it's just not right. That's just not fair.
I never even mentioned his name, Your Honor.
It doesn't matter if you mention the name.
And later,
the moisture inspector said in his report, insulation and the stucco, it appeared to be defective.
But he wanted to use cheaper materials.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Stacy Stillwater, who is suing Rodney Pepperton for breach of contract.
So, Your Honor, when I tried to bring it to his attention that, this is my grandfather, we're trying to honor him, he wasn't empathetic, Your Honor. He didn't care, Your Honor. He said sales are final, Your Honor. I found him online, so I took it upon myself to, after I did try to talk to him about it, to go online and let them know that this did not look anything like my grandfather.
So this is the basis of the counterclaim. You're saying that she went online and that she posted negative reviews.
Yes.
And that it cost you customers. Talk to me about this.
Well,
and then I want to see the pictures.
Well, people reach out to me and they said, well, listen, I saw this online, I saw this review, and I don't want to have work done by you anymore. And so I found it and I looked online. I'm like, oh, wow, they're right. She's posting things that are slanderous, and it's just not right. That's just not fair.
I never even mentioned his name, Your Honor. I never
It doesn't
even
matter if you mention the name.
How would they know you were the artist if she didn't mention your name?
Because in the artist work, I have signed every single piece. Not like a signature, my name, so that they know that's my brand. They know that's me. And so when she's affected and she's talking about my art in that way, she's talking about me in that way. And
so how much did you lose?
$1,700 and $700, so $2,400. So I should be actually suing for $3,400.
Your Honor, he would have lost $800 more had I known that he wouldn't have drawn my grandfather. He wouldn't have earned my money had I known that he wouldn't even care about the customer.
So what did you post about him? What did you say?
Your Honor, all I said was I put the original picture beside the picture that he drew, and I said, this looks nothing like my grandfather. That was it.
Okay, so obviously you have the pictures.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I don't have the original picture. My niece wanted the picture of our grandfather, so she has the original. I have the copy, and I have the portrait that Rodney attempted to draw.
Very handsome man.
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
All right, so this is the picture that you produced. Is this the portrait?
Yes, Your Honor.
It looks good to me. And what's the picture that you provided?
I have the...
only one?
Yes, only a copy. The original, my niece has the original.
This is the picture that you gave him?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, it looks remarkably the same to me.
His nose isn't even the same, Your Honor.
It's subjective, Your Honor.
He didn't even care, Your Honor. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, if he's saying the customer is always right, he didn't even care, Your Honor.
What color is this? Is this blue to you?
Oh, stop. I don't need all that.
I mean, I'm comparing it to the picture that you gave him. It looks remarkably the same to me. Oh. All right, let me tell you what I think. And I'm going to rule on both the claim and the counterclaim. I know what grief looks like. And I know how painful it is to lose somebody that you love. And you're trying to honor your grandfather. And you paid this man $800. But I am telling you Stacy, as I look at this and I compare it to the original picture that you provided him, I think that it's reasonable, and I think that this is a reasonable rendition of it, and I think maybe you're too close to be objective. This doesn't strike me as being horrible. I don't think there's enough to support your counterclaim. Rodney, in this situation, she just said in her opinion, and people can express their opinion. We live in a world of social media, internet, and all things get kind of posted from time to time. And it is not, in my opinion, slander in this situation, because it was her opinion that she wasn't happy with the work that you did. I'm sorry that you lost clients, but hopefully you have enough positive things being posted that it will counterbalance this. But Stacy, based on what I've seen today, I don't think you're entitled to the $800, because I think that he did a reasonable rendition of your grandfather under these circumstances. And I know this is painful, but you know what? I am telling you from one who knows. My father's been dead now over 25 years. And I will tell you that it really, at the end of the day, it isn't about a portrait. It is really about that wonderful memory that you carry every day in your heart for him. And I know this is painful, and I have been where you are, but I will tell you, in time, the tears will, in time, change to really times of just joyful celebration.
He was a good man.
Because you will be thankful that he was so important in your life. And so you have my sympathy. I am not going to award the $800 for reasons I've stated, nor am I awarding you the $3,000 on the counterclaim. There's nothing further. That's my judgment, and we'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled. Both claims have been denied.
I'm sorry you didn't appreciate the painting, and I'm sorry for your loss.
All in all, I think you're a really good artist, but you should care a little bit more about your customers.
Coming up,
About 3-4 years into the house, we started noticing water puddling when it rained. I never really connected the issue with bad construction quality.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Marshall Guthrie is suing Jim Whitaker in the amount of $23,000. Mr. Guthrie claims Mr. Whitaker's shoddy construction ruined his eco-friendly dream home and says the defendant needs to pay up.
Mr. Guthrie, you are suing the contractor that built the home for you and your wife. Is that correct?
Yes. So 7 years ago, my wife and I decided to build a home in an area called Brentwood, just outside Nashville, Tennessee. We went and saw Mr. Whitaker of Whitaker Constructions. We went ahead and commissioned him to build our home.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm assuming you had it inspected before you closed on the contract to actually take the home.
Well, no, he did all the inspections. So he just handed, we had a final walkthrough, and he handed off the keys.
Is that correct?
Correct. It's by building inspectors. You have to sign off on it during the phase of construction.
And what happened?
About 3-4 years into the house, we started noticing water puddling when it rained around the windows, damp walls, sometimes even water on the floors. It happened sporadically, so we would just wipe it off, and I thought it was probably attributed to the window being open. I never really connected the issue with bad construction quality.
And why are you suing him?
We decided to sell our home to move to Atlanta. 7 years later, that is after we took possession, the house, the inspections revealed that there was, the moisture inspector said in his report that there was a systemic problem in the way, the insulation and the stucco, in the outside of the house, it appeared to be defective.
Coming up,
He wanted an eco-friendly house. And I advised him against this, but he insisted on it. Nashville area gets 47 inches of rain a year. Then if it doesn't breathe, water could pool up.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back. with the case of Marshall Guthrie, who is suing Jim Whitaker for negligence.
Mr. Whitaker, what's going on with this house?
He wanted an eco-friendly house, and he wanted to use cheaper materials and thicker insulation. And I advised him against this, but he insisted on it.
Because he did not want to spend the money on the house, that he did not get the quality of construction on the house? Is that what you're telling me?
You know, I still build quality homes, but he wanted to use cheaper materials, and he wanted to use thicker insulation to cut down on heating and air conditioning costs. But I told him, you know, the Nashville area gets 47 inches of rain a year annually. That's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
Yes, and I told him specifically that it's got to breathe, and if it doesn't breathe, water could pool up. He wanted cheaper building materials, and I'm saying that is what caused.
So cheaper building materials, help me understand that.
Like recycled plywood and recycled siding and stuff like that.
All right, so in this inspection report, it says that there was not the proper flashing put in.
I don't do the stucco. I have subcontractors, but I've used the same contractors for many years. I don't know where those photos came from. I've never seen them before.
All right, well, we're going to let you look at them.
And I offer a 5-year warranty on my homes.
Excuse me, just a second. Officer, would you just make sure that he gets to see these, please? Tell me about the 5-year warranty.
I offer a 5-year structural warranty on all my homes that I build. And I feel if he had a problem, he should have contacted me within that first 5 years.
It appears that the damage has been caused by water leaking in through the gaps between the window and the seal, left during construction, and between the stucco and the piping behind the walls. That sounds like a construction defect to me. Now, you say that the stucco was done by a subcontractor, but it also talks about the gap that's been left there. And even if you use a subcontractor, you're responsible for that subcontractor's work on any home that you're building. So how do you respond to that?
He signed off on it. You know, if he had a problem, he had 5 years to contact me.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Given the fact that there were signs, even though they were sporadic, and I appreciate that, and nobody could be more sympathetic to the situation than I am, because I have been exactly where you are in this situation. But legally, under the situation now, because of the 5-year warranty, because it has expired, because you did not alert him during that period, I have no choice but deny your claim. I'm hoping that there is a home warranty insurance piece that you have on the home that you might be able to go and recover. I wish you and your wife well on this move, but unfortunately, your claim is denied. We'll stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I am really disappointed. You know you were responsible for this.
I stand by my work. You had 5 years to complain.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.